Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About Clutter. I'm your host, Margo, a professional organizer specializing in chronic clutter. And today we're going to talk about how to organize your home like a professional organizer. And here's the thing, you don't have to be a professional organizer. I'm going to blow your mind today. You're going to be like, oh my God, really? Is it that easy? It can be. It can be when we stop doing certain things. And we'll talk about that today too. But every single one of us, what do we want, right? We want a picture-worthy home, or simply a home that doesn't require you to clean it 24/7, right? And all of that has to do with, well, number one, how much stuff you actually have, and number two, how organized your space is. So if you are someone who starts hyperventilating the second you think of organizing your home, I know. If cleaning your home wasn't bad enough, you got to organize it too. Like, what the heck? How many things do we have to do? The good news is that once you go through the process of decluttering and like doing a deep clean and then finally organizing in that order, by the way, it becomes incredibly seamless. So it's a lot of investments in the beginning. I'm not talking about financial investment. I'm talking about time and energy. It does require some of your attention and love and dedication, like anything else that's worth it. But once you actually organize your home, and I'm going to teach you how to do that today in actually 3 simple, easy steps that you can replicate, it becomes seamless maintaining your home, right? And that's what we all want, okay? We want that guest-ready home all the time, within reason, of course. So home organization isn't about, I want to kind of break this myth because I think it's incredibly important. We need to stop comparing our homes to what we see on social media, okay? I'm not blaming you. I myself swipe through TikTok and Instagram and I'm like, oh my God, her kitchen is so beautiful and so minimalistic. It's like no one lives there, right? Or how many times, be honest with me, okay? You can hit me up on Instagram and let me know. How many times have you like binge watched those videos with like perfectly organized cupboards or perfectly organized refrigerators where everything has a bin and a container and there's this like, thing that you put your 5 different types of water in, and it's just like there's a bin and a container for everything. Look, it's aesthetically pleasing. Don't get me wrong, right? It's aesthetically pleasing. I like to look at it too. But it's not real life for most of us, right? That is not realistic. You do not, I'm going to say this again, you do not need high-end containers that don't even fit your food properly, leaving you with random bags stashed somewhere else, okay? Organization is not about aesthetics. Aesthetics are nice, don't get me wrong, but at its core, organization is less about aesthetics. The number one rule for organization is functionality. It's about creating a space that works for you, not against you. And this is what I work a lot. I spend a lot of time working with my one-on-one clients on just that, on changing that mindset. It's not about pretty bins and containers, okay? It's about a functional, seamless use of your space. In its simplest form, it's ensuring that every single item in your space has a home to go to. And this is why you've probably heard tidy up at the end of the day, tidy up. And you're like, how the hell can I tidy up? I don't know where half of this stuff goes, right? When your home is well organized for functional use, and I'm going to walk you through how to do that today. When your home is organized for functional use, it becomes seamless. You know exactly where that random stack of papers goes, or that mail, or that cup, or that scissor, or, your kid's toys, whatever is out and about. You know seamlessly how to scoop it up, maybe even put it in a bin, right? Your relocation bin, and then walk around your house, returning items where they belong. No 2 homes I've ever worked on have ever looked the same. Organization is incredibly personal. It has to fit you. It has to fit your lifestyle, your family, your routines, and how you naturally flow through your space. So if the idea of organizing feels overwhelming, don't stress. You're also not alone. Organization is simply the practice of putting things where they belong. You don't have to be a professional to get started. Just like any skill, the more you do it, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. When your home is organized, it not only looks better, but it also functions better. You can grab what you need quickly, put things away with ease, and keep things in order with much effort. So this is why today I'm sharing my top 3 M's of organization. I did not create this formula, but I love it, use it, and it is incredibly effective, okay? So these 3 M's will teach you everything you need to know to achieve an organized home. These 3 steps will help you transform your space, whether it's your kitchen, your bathroom, or the dreaded junk drawer. By the way, I am a lover of a junk drawer, and I firmly believe that every single house should have one. Just one, by the way, not a junk closet, not a junk room, just a junk drawer. All right, so let's jump into the 3 M's, like M&M's, of home organization. Okay, the first M is to minimize. So what does that mean? So when you are on your home organization journey, many of the clients I start working with, right? We get on our first one-on-one Zoom call and they're like, Margo, I need to organize my space. And I'm like, I kind of do a little giggle on the inside. And I'm like, if it's in person, obviously I get to look at their home. If it's virtual, because I service a lot of clients outside of the US, they will do like a Zoom walkthrough of their space. And I'm looking at tons and tons of stuff. Tons and tons of clutter. And they are telling me, and like, be real, right? Maybe you have tried to do this. We don't organize clutter. It's a waste of time. Okay. We want to achieve that like well-organized home. So we try to we go out, we buy bins and containers and whatnot, and then we're shoving things in there. And then literally the second we go to pull something out, everything, the whole entire system, the whole entire beautiful shelf, bill, whatever, falls apart. And it's because your home is telling you you have too much clutter. So minimize. We declutter first, always. And I know decluttering is not like the glamorous part, even though it can be, okay? But decluttering, you have to minimize. You have to have less stuff first before we even think about organization. Get rid of the things that you don't need, use, or love. And if an item is just taking up space, it is weighing you down and contributing to that messy look in your space. You know, I have tons and tons of videos on decluttering for beginners, intermediate, decluttering for advanced. There's tons of information on how you can get started easily. And also on that note, I actually recently started hosting a free bi-weekly live decluttering workshop. It is every other Thursday. Again, it's completely free. You know, several of us women get together and we choose a small area or category of items and we declutter them live. So for 15 to 30 minutes, we're all together. I'm there as your coach. Again, it's totally free. You get started, you declutter, we share, we laugh, we drink coffee. It's loads of fun. If you want to sign up, by all means, I will leave a link to it in the show notes. Okay. So I can't stress this enough, okay? If you really want to achieve if you want an organized home, not for a day, not for a week, not for a month, but you want to sustain an organized home, you have to declutter first. And yes, it's an investment of time, right? Depending on how much stuff you have. But this is the first step. Okay, step 2, your second M is to maximize. So we minimize first and then we maximize. And you're probably like, Margo, I don't understand. Do we just bring a bunch of clutter back in? No. When we're talking about maximize, we're talking about using your space efficiently. So once you've minimized, it's time to maximize your space. A lot of what I hear is, Margo, I just need an extra storage unit. Margo, I just need a bigger home. And I'm like, stop. Just please stop. Okay, now don't get me wrong, okay? There are times where you possibly have grown out of your space. So maybe you had a 2-bedroom apartment and you just had 1 baby and now you have 3 kids or 4 kids. Yes, you've grown out of your space, right? But for most of you, okay, for you probably, you don't need more space. You don't need a storage unit, okay? You need to, after you've minimized, which probably means you now have more empty space, you want to maximize the space you already have. So think about it. Are your pots and pans right next to the stove? Is your makeup where you apply it? When everything is stored where it makes sense, you save time and energy. One strategy I teach my clients is to video record themselves moving through a space to see how they naturally flow. So what this does is it helps reveal if things are stored too far away from where they use it. I once worked with a busy mom who had all her kids' school supplies in the kitchen pantry, but they always did their homework at the dining room table. So what do we do, right? That's not a practical use of the space. What do? We move the supplies to a bin underneath the table, and guess what? No more chaos, right? No more having to run back and forth. Your items should be stored where you use them. Not only that, there needs to be a flow, right? It needs to be seamless, almost like you're dancing through your home, right? So not only when we talk about maximizing, it's not only maximizing the use of the space. So for example, as it applies to, let's say, a closet, use door space, use wall space. As it applies to, let's say, your pantry or cabinets, you can insert hanging shelves, right? You naturally have a lot of space. It just needs to be used the right way. And when we say that, it's not only to maximize the space you have, but it's also to maximize it for functionality, saving you time. Things should be kept where it makes sense to store them. So if you do your makeup in the bathroom, your makeup should not be in your bedroom. If you, obviously you do, you clean your bathroom, and this is something I see happen all the time. Cleaning supplies that you use to clean your bathroom, they should be kept in your bathroom, not in your kitchen, not in a linen closet, not in the garage, right? As much as we can, items should be stored where you use them. That is how you maximize space. This is what makes for organization. This is what makes for efficiency and saves you tons and tons of time. And only after you have minimized, so after you have decluttered, right, then typically what you're doing is, again, when you're maximizing your space for functional use, and I can do an entire podcast episode on just specifically how to organize areas of your home. But in general, what you want to do is you first want to decide where you're going to store things. And this is why recording yourself and how you navigate, let's say your kitchen or maybe just the high traffic areas is the best way to start, right? You, your family members, your kids, etc. But only once you figure out where things should be stored, so like coffee mugs close to the coffee machine, right? Not on the other side of your kitchen. Only when you realize you're like, okay, this is how I want to do it. First, put it there and then see if it works. Then proceed to investing in containers and bins and whatever you want to do in order to make it look nice. But too often we kind of run out to Home Goods or Amazon. We get super excited. Maybe something's on sale. It's like Black Friday soon or whatever. And we buy a bunch of stuff. And instead of measuring and figuring out exactly the sizes we need, we're trying to like shove the stuff that we already have in the containers that we bought. That is not the right way to do that, right? So we first want to identify areas that work for us, and only then do we want to move forward and buy additional things if there's even a need. Oftentimes, you can get away with some of the stuff that you already have in your house. So we have minimize, maximize, and now we finally have maintain. And this is all about keeping things organized over time. Now, keep in mind, if you're brand new to organization, you're going to develop systems that don't necessarily work for you right off the bat. Think about any time, maybe you created a time management system or like a way you track your to-do list. It probably took you several attempts before you nailed it. Organization is no different, and there's no such thing as perfect organization. It's only what's perfect for you, your home, and your family. So when it comes to the third M, which is maintain, you want to keep things organized over time. So this is where many people fall off track. Organization isn't a one and done thing. It's fluid and it needs adjustment as your life changes. So you need to have systems in place for maintaining, because the only way your home is going to stay perfectly organized is if nobody lives in it. Okay, those perfectly organized homes you see, either somebody has a lot of time to kind of maintain it, or they have a cleaning person that comes in. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But for most of us, we do not have that luxury. So it can't just be where you organize once and done. It's the same thing with decluttering. Just because you decluttered once or twice doesn't mean like you're never going to declutter again. No, one of the most important things, and probably the most challenging, is maintaining a clutter-free space, or rather maintaining an organized home. So just like you clean your house, right? You should have a daily checklist for what you like: washing the dishes, taking out the garbage, wiping down the kitchen countertop. Same thing with cleaning, washing your floors once a week, vacuuming once a week, maybe cleaning out your refrigerator in preparation for food shopping that you do weekly. You need to develop systems in place that maintain your home being organized. And there are naturally going to be areas that get messier than others. Pantries are a great example, especially if you have kids. Your kids' rooms, their toys, these things are going to get messy. Closets will naturally get messy. But the way that we maintain organization is by ensuring that maybe we reorganize our pantry once a month, or maybe we go through, the stack of bills or mail once a week. sometimes it's as simple as small daily habits of tidying up, right? So I mentioned before having an evening tidying up routine. And I think it's very, very, whether it's evening or afternoon or morning, whatever works best for you. But tidying up daily. And of course, like I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, it becomes incredibly easy when every item in your space has a home to go to. So if you just continuously kind of tidy up, whether it's daily or every other day, if you kind of have systems in place where you're like, okay, the pantry's getting kind of a little out of hand, let me straighten it up. The closet, the this, that, and the other, the entryway. Be kind to yourself. Things will naturally get messy. It doesn't mean that you failed at organization. I consider my home to be well organized. I consider my home to be as clutter-free as it possibly can. But with that said, the only reason it stays that way is because I have daily, weekly, and monthly habits that keep it that way. If I just literally for like 3 months said I'm doing nothing, the house would be chaotic. Right? It wouldn't be as bad as if, let's say, I had a ton of stuff. But in general, again, when we live in a home, you can't keep it perfect all the time. So those are our 3 M's. We want to minimize, we want to maximize, and most importantly, we want to maintain. Remember that every small step counts. Whether you're starting with a single drawer or tackling an entire room, the key is to stay consistent and find what works for you. And don't forget, organization is not about perfection. It's about progress. Thank you so much for listening. As always, good luck on your decluttering journey, and remember to be good to yourself.